Dear viewers, the topic of our episode is about a wonderful and unique adventurous person. They consider him an example and role model for the Arab Saudi Muslims who illegally kept his identity without melting or dissolution or exceeded, and without collusion or convergence with others. He is adventurous and did many achievements as well as a role model for many young people. Adventurous Saudi hero who made many achievements in the history of Islam is the first Saudi raised the voice of right called the Adhan, the Holy Quran. He gave Adhan not for praying, but to address the world that he reached Everest and gave the banner of monotheism from the highest minaret in the world. He got the black belt and many championships in Taekwondo and football, the American University. He is clever at swimming, weightlifting, mountain climbing, hiking, and practices different sports like yoga, ice skating, horse riding, and all kinds of motorbikes and driving and scuba diving. We'll know more about the adventurous who challenged all difficulties, Captain Farouq Alzouman.
I finished my school. I went to college in the University of Oregon in California, Eugene, and while I was going to school, I've always thought about actually going to Mount Everest and climbing it for a lot of reasons. One of them that for me was actually that I wanted to raise the flag of Saudi Arabia from the highest point on earth. I wanted also to call for the prayer, adhan, for the Muslims from the highest manara on the world. Yeah, so I had some ideas in my mind that I actually wanted to do, but I finished school. I finished my college, my university, and then I came to Saudi Arabia. I worked in a PR agency. It's called Tariq Lil-I'lam. It's one of the biggest PR companies in Saudi Arabia now. And I went for my dream.
Mashallah.
I went for it. There was no actually conflict between finishing my education and going to Everest, because the time was just perfect for them. As soon as I finished my school, I went straight ahead to what I wanted to do.
This is to all your viewers. I mean, to me, he's the perfect role model. I mean, he continued his education, yet that didn't stop him from achieving his goal. I mean, he tried and he achieved his goal. And I'll tell you the truth. I mean, before I began to work here, I mean, I had low hopes that I would get a job here. And I have to admit, you were one of the few who motivated me to apply for a job here. I mean, seriously, I mean, I'm not joking here. I mean, I do remember this one time where I was watching an interview and I was fascinated that one person from our people had achieved something that people only achieve in their dreams. But you have achieved this thing in reality, which people will highly admire you, and you will be remembered in history. I mean, for centuries and centuries, people will always remember the first Saudi guy who climbed Mount Everest and placed the flag over their permanently.
But believe me, you guys, there are a lot of youth here in the Islamic world, or actually in the Arab world, or even in Saudi Arabia. There is a lot of people here that I've seen, that really motivational, professional, work really different, have their vision really clear. Today, for example, I went to buy a car from Nissan, and I met this guy. He's called Abdulaziz Al-Hibesh. And unbelievably, I've actually went to a lot of sales executives around the world, but as this guy I've never seen. Seriously, he's a young Saudi guy, but he was really professional, a smile in his face. He knew exactly what to do in order to satisfy a customer. I mean that there's a lot of people who are like this. They have vision, they have goals, they are really doing good in job. As you said, you have a motivational thoughts,
of course,
pushed you to be what you want to be actually here, and inshallah, and at the same time you're going to school and you're trying to do both at the same time, right?
I mean, I try to preserve my place here in the TV. At the same time, I try to continue my education. I mean, I have to admit, like I told you when I was watching an interview, I mean, I was thinking, can I do something similar to that? You know, my goal is I've always wanted to work in TV ever since I was a child. So
we know sometimes our ability to reach to that goal doesn't match. Like some people, I mean, a lot of people might think that they want to be a soccer player,
for example.
but they've never actually like touched the pole before.
Yeah.
Some people want to be like a writer, but they don't even know how to, you know, write. Some people want to be something, but their abilities, their gifts that Allah Azza wa Jal has given to them doesn't match with that. So you cannot reach your goal. But even though your goal is clear, so you have to balance between the two. Your abilities of doing something with the clarity of your goal, your vision that you want to actually reach to. So if you balance between the two, believe me, you will reach your goal, and everyone else will reach their goal. That's your choices that you make in life. We all live for one life. That's it. 60, 70, if you're lucky, say a century, 100 years, and that's it. So it's all about the choices that you make in life. You know that if you make the right choice, you will get there. If you give up, you will never reach your goals, and you remember that you're gonna live for one life. So if you make the right choice, you will get there. Do not blame it on the environment. Do not try to blame it on the issues that surround you. Do not blame it on anything else. Do not even blame it in yourself or on the money situation, the social situation. That doesn't work anymore. You have to take the challenge. You have to face life with its obstacles and difficulties and face it to reach your goal. That's how it should be done these days.
Thank you. Can you tell us how do we build this motivated personality inside of us? You know, when we find our goal, what are the steps that would help us reach that goal?
The most important thing that I always talked about, and I think it's the most important thing that will get everyone to any goal, no matter how high it is or difficult, is actually knowing yourself.
Whether you want to do this or not, or knowing what you want.
You've got to know yourself really well. You've got to know your abilities. You've got to know your, positivities, negativities. You have to know what your self complains about, what's your self like. You have to know every little, small, tiny, bitty detail that you can actually find about yourself. It's really, really important. Once you know yourself really well, and it takes sometimes a whole lifetime to figure that self. Once you know yourself, you will know exactly how to get that self to any peak, mountain, goal, Everest, vision, dream, point that you want to actually reach. But you've just got to know it. You've got to know it. A lot of people don't know ourselves. Sometimes when people walk up to us, they say, no, you usually are not comfortable with that. We're like, oh, really? You think so? So we start thinking. We don't even know ourselves. So you have to know every little detail. That's really, really helps you from the inside to be motivated, to be self-confident. Your self-esteem pumps up. You will know because you know exactly what will get you there, and you know exactly what won't get you there. I think this is like the most important like issues that faces a lot of people, but that they are not aware what turn them down, turn them up, motivate them, not motivate them, what they like, what they don't, except like little few things. That's the most important thing. Once you know this, also Allah Azza wa Jal has given us a lot of advices in the Quran through Rasul Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, how exactly we can reach our goals. And we know without faith, without iman, and Allah Azza wa Jal, for us Muslims, will be almost impossible to actually reach to our goals with the happiness that we really want to get, or with the self-esteem and the confidence that we can actually gain inside of us. Motivation will disappear sometimes. So it's really important to have faith in Allah Azza wa Jal and follow the advices that Allah Azza wa Jal, or the orders that Allah Azza wa Jal has given us to actually reach to anything we want. We have to connect this life with the life after. Point that you want to get to, whether you're thinking, no, well, let me focus on high school, or let me focus on university now, and then after that I will start thinking about what am I going to do. No. You're doing it backwards. You're doing it. This is messed up. You have to know exactly what you want to get in the end, and then which way is going to get me there. Is it the university, or is it that one, or is it college, or is it maybe I don't even need to go to university?
So we can say like a small dreamer grows through time.
Well, you should let it know. You should grow it up in your mind and in your brain and by imagination and by knowing, as I said, the abilities in yourself. Once you really start knowing yourself, you will know what you actually can do and what you actually cannot do. And once you know that, you will see things clear and it's like, wow, hold on a second, I can climb mountains. You know what? I want to climb Everest. Why not? I can't do it. Seriously.
I mean, seriously, I
Wow.
completely agree with you.
And then you will do it. If you're a writer and you find yourself that you can get locked in your room for 6-7 hours writing and you just love it, you can start thinking about it. You know what? I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write a novel. I'm going to write like 10 books. Why not? I can do it. I know myself really well. This is my goal. And I will start doing it. I want to write 1,000 books. It's not an impossible mission if that fits with your ability. If you can write a book every week, I bet that, you know, in less than 20 years, you will probably be able to write like 1,000 books.
Of course, I mean,
Around all of us. It's no doubt. It's definitely important to get something from a little small ball going down from the mountain to get it to the hugest actually snowball that you ever can see. So definitely the environment that you're surrounded by is really important. I agree with you. And my mom in that case, and I give you an example of a motivational environment. As soon as I told my mom that I actually wanted to climb Mount Everest, she right away asked me, do you have the ability to do this? I was like, yes. I've climbed several mountains, like such. She's like, do you know why you want to do this? I was like, yes. For this, for this, for this. I've had things clear.
Right.
She said, is it connected with Allah Azza wa Jal somehow? I was like, yes. Just go ahead. My heart and my mind with you. And I'm all pushing you toward that goal.
MashaAllah.
So it definitely helps. But if the environment also doesn't help, that doesn't mean that you should complain and say, you know what? I was born in an environment where they're not motivating me, they're not helping me, they're not giving me. The government is like, the school is like, my family is like, and we just looking for excuses. We're looking for things just to hang our failure on it.
Right.
But the truth is that you are the
Your
one
own
who
failure.
chose to be a failure. If you are born in a tough, hard environment, you have to challenge it. You have to take the challenge. No matter what it is, your family, the government, the school, the friends, no matter what it is, you can change it. So you have to change it. Or you will be living in holes if you choose not to live on top, on peaks.
First, you were talking about imagination, you know, how we should imagine your path. I mean, it reminded me of a saying that Albert Einstein once said, that imagination is more important than knowledge. What he meant is that imagination is what drives you to get this knowledge or achieve the goal. Now, do you agree with this saying?
Definitely, definitely. I've been talking about imagination a lot today. I mean, for the past like 3 weeks or 4 weeks in the lectures that I've been given or in the interviews that I've had, I've actually has concluded or got to the ideas that actually imagination is really, really one of the major important things for people to achieve an achievement, for people to reach the top, the peak, the highest point, whatever, in whatever they actually want. I was reading about Thomas Edison. I was reading about all these people. I was reading about all the famous also people. They all have this imagination about their future, their goal, which pushes the unconscious mind to be thinking differently to help you actually reach that goal. And also, I always feel that we all, me, Khadija, you, him, and everyone else that's listening us, hearing us, watching us right now, is we are a team. We are a part of a big, big, big team. And we all have one goal. And as a player, everyone in the team also want to enjoy the game.
Right.
Want to enjoy his abilities, want to enjoy what he's doing, want to feel that he is a part of the team. And to feel a part of the team, that then you have to do something. the captain, he has to talk to the defense, he has to talk to the goalkeeper, he talks to the defense, he talks to everyone. So as a part of the team, we all, our hands together, and everyone should do what they can do.
Right.
And if I had an experience in something, I have to tell whatever whoever asked me about, you know, how actually to do this or how to get to that. So I always feel like really pumped up and motivational when someone asked me about something like that, because I've had it, I've seen it, especially when I climbed the mountain.
Right.
For me, the mountain was like the biggest example to actually could analyze it and take the exact causes of success from me climbing the mountain, and I could apply it to people's lives easily. Because everyone is seriously, it's just like his life is like climbing a mountain. Because everyone is a climbing. If you choose the difficulties and the toughness, that means that you're going to the top. If you choose to relax and enjoy life, that means you're on the bottom.
Right.
So I feel that we are the team. I'm always connected with them. I love to hear their critical notations, questions, ideas, analyzing, you know, anything that anyone has to give me, I always take it seriously. I write it down. I have a lot of people who are actually volunteering to work with me. People actually even from outside Saudi Arabia, from Morocco, from Yemen, and from Algeria, from Saudi Arabia. There are a lot of like youth, boys and girls are actually really interested in building a really network where we that helps everyone to actually reach their own success peak. With you, it's a way with a big W that draws your jaw down, like a way hard. Seriously, even the people outside are laughing, having a good time. But it is a way harder than actually climbing the mountain.
Really?
It's
Yeah,
it's
writing isn't
unbelievable
easy.
because I'm trying to write it in a way where both like Saudis and not Saudis could understand it, could be really motivational. I wanted to people also to know like my little tiny bitty thoughts,
Right.
feelings when I was climbing, the difficulties. I was trying to explain. It's not just a book or a novel or that tells you about just details of climbing. I want it to be more logical, inspirational, personal, as he said. So it's really hard. The interesting part about the book will be like more like, wow, from the desert to the snow, from plus 20, plus 50 to actually minus 50. So how to manage this? How is the snow and Everest from a thought or the mind of an Arab or a
Right.
Muslim or a Saudi Arabian guy, you know, who lived actually by the camels in the desert. So let's try to balance this and see the different thoughts. How could he actually, as a Muslim, and live with different people from different cultures, different religion, different blood, different colors, and yet all the team has managed to bring all the similarities together and push away all the differences and live as a team for one goal to reach the top.
MashaAllah.
Could the world, as a world, actually live as this, as one team for one goal, peace?
Well, well, I just have a last question about your book. Correct me if I'm wrong. You can say, the most important part about the book is about your motivation through this journey rather than the journey itself?
Now I'm using the journey.
Of course, you're using the journey, and at the same time, you're expressing how you felt about it.
To connect the people.
To connect the people to your situation, to make them put themselves in your shoes, for example.
Exactly. So I'm using this story to connect the people with myself and to connect the people also with the expedition, with the team, with the goal, to be able to feel that they can reach their own Everest. But in order to reach that own Everest, you have to take this book as a guide.
Of course.
It's more like a philosophical thoughts of a road trip that will reach you to your goal and dream. It's mine.
How do you feel when you write this book? How do you feel? Do you feel like you're throwing a burden, or you feel like you're happy to finally express yourself, show people how you truly felt, and just give them the complete experience rather than just give them a few bits and parts and excerpts.
How do I feel? It feels, when you sit with an old friend and you start remembering old school
old
days when you were in elementary school and we go outside to play soccer or hang out with your little friend, do this or that. You know that when you're the hormone, the endorphin hormone enzyme in your system started pushing in, and you started feeling great about all these memories. That's exactly what I feel when I'm writing this book. It's like I grab my imagination and drag it all the way back, and then I'll leave it there, start playing around and gather all the ideas and thoughts and feelings, the smell, the coldness, the toughness, and then I just feel like, wow, I passed through all that hardness and I've reached the top, and everything now has become a past, and I'm just remembering the past. So when I write it, every time I try to write, it's like I find myself is like laying back slowly, and then I start just like remembering all these good moments and tough moments and ending up not writing. So this is the problem that I'm facing.
This is the difficult.
I answered that question earlier, but in a different way, but let me explain a little bit. A lot of people might think that actually getting an education or getting, or reaching a bachelor degree, a master's degree, a PhD degree is the goal. And that's the problem.
Exactly.
Because we're not talking about the goal. We're talking about a goal. Like once we started thinking about the goal, it means the major one.
Right.
The one that you want to live for it. The footprint that you want to leave behind. The achievement, the after maybe we're still going, like Thomas Edison, for example, or Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam, the biggest example, and we're still going in his example.
Definitely.
Or more than 1400 years. So I'm talking about this achievement, this fingerprint or footprint that you want to put. So once we know that one, now we know what career we can pick to get to it.
Right.
And if we know what career that we want to pick to get to it, now we know what major we should go to school to get us there. About today, I'm suffering a hard, tough time trying just to finish my school.
What
I can't
are you
even
talking
think.
about,
And I'm telling them, hold your horses for a little bit, kid, and start thinking about, I'm just asking you to think, imagine. I'm not
What's
asking
wrong
you
in
to
that,
work
right?
hard to get to something. Could you just lay down for a little bit and let your imagination go? Hold on a second. Think about yourself first, as I told him earlier. Like, what am I here for? What am I good for? What can I do best and enjoy, really enjoy? And then think about, okay, can I study about this thing? Oh yeah, I can study, but why? Oh yeah, you have to get a career.
Right.
To get a career path. Okay, then what? This path that you're talking about is gonna get you where, and put it in your mind. I'm not talking about hard, tough work and obstacles in your way. No, I'm talking about ideas, thinking, imagination, like why, where, how, when, and then just jump for it, and it will all come. Every pain we go through, and every hard and obstacles that we see, every hole that we actually jump, and every wall that we see in our life, is gonna be a past. Seriously. All this pain is gonna be a past. But remember, while you're having the pain, that it is now, it becomes a past. Because a second later, it is a past. You had a pain.
Right.
But remember always, while you having that pain, that why am I doing this? Why? And for Muslims, this answer is really clear. That we're doing this for Allah Azza wa Jal. And doing this for Allah Azza wa Jal, doing things for Allah Azza wa Jal doesn't mean that we only have to be in the mosque or reading the Quran or doing charity, that's it, or fasting Ramadan. You could make all your life, your work, your career path, everything to Allah Azza wa Jal. You just have to actually get that feelings inside of you and let it chill.
Great
And you will
words.
get to the top no matter how hard it is. remember that the pain is just past.
Speech. I mean, seriously, like I said, I still have not acknowledged this moment that I'm interviewing Farouq Alzouman here. But for my last word, well, I didn't have any last words because I have last sentences, speeches. I just have to say that the person that I once dreamed of meeting, I ended up interviewing him, which is way beyond the goal, way beyond my goal. So you might reach your goal and even go beyond it if you have any, let's say, more aspiring dreams. And hopefully you learned lots of things from Mr. Farouq with this short time, even though I wish we could expand the show, the episode. Okay, I'm confused here.